Hey, it's David Kaye, voice of Beast Wars Megatron and TFA Optimus. You're listening to the Geekcast Radio Network. Transform and roll out.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers, robots in disguise. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. Transformers.
Hello and welcome to Transformation Animation Podcast. I am one of your hosts, TFG and Mike. Joining me is Pecan Court Michael. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. And Steve Megatron. Hello.
Hello.
Returning to the Geekcast Radio Network is the one, the only David Kaye. Hello, David. How are you?
Is this thing on? Excellent. Yes. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Yes, we have transitioned from Beast Wars into Transformers Animated, and we're going to be mainly talking to you about that and a few other things as well tonight.
Okay, that's perfectly, absolutely fine.
Yeah, we've started a Transformers Animated review podcast where we are going to be reviewing every single episode. We're going to be talking about the toys, we're going to be talking about the books, and all that good stuff.
So I need to remember stuff then, I suppose.
I'm assuming you have a fairly good memory.
Well, you don't know me very well. I'll try. Yeah, I'll try.
So before we get started, can you give us the scoop on what's going on in the world of David Kaye? Any upcoming projects you care to reveal or that you're allowed to reveal?
Yeah, that's the thing. Allowed to reveal. There's some cool stuff happening. I can tell you that finally that the Batman Arkham Asylum thing is I'm in that, and it's Commissioner Gordon. There's a bunch of other games that are happening that I cannot talk about because I signed the famous NDA. And I can also mention that I was invited back. It's already on IMDb somehow. We've talked about it. But I was invited in to join the cast of TF Prime, and a couple of special cool episodes coming up. So I can reveal that I will be involved in the newest. They can't get rid of me.
You what?
They can't get rid of me.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's there's other stuff. Just Dan versus cartoons. There's other episodes that are coming out. It's kind of a drag because it's hard. You can't say it because of social media until I get the okay. I mean, I was working yesterday with Big John DiMaggio and Tara Strong and Bumper Robinson, but I can't tell you which one it was until I know it's okay. But, yeah.
The social media thing, before we really get started into the questions, before we transition here, you've really taken a shine to the social media thing, haven't you?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I go like other people I talk to they get all sort of they get into it for a while and then I let it I kind of go dark for a while. I discovered Twitter, which is interesting how I get some news to start the day as well. I usually Twitter's kind of cool for that. And Tara Strong, it's her fault that I'm into all this stuff because she gets mad if I'm not. So really make her mad. I want her to still be my friend. Like, okay, I'll tweet.
She a few months ago, she made a Twitter message of an event she was going to. She said something about someone else and you going to a burlesque show. And the first thing, I'm sorry, this is so horrible of me. The first thing that came into my mind, I'm like, why is Optimus Prime taking Sorry Sumdac to a burlesque show?
She's not Sorry Sumdac to me.
I know. I understand that.
Furthest thing from my mind. But no, we're all good for. We all hang out. We're all good friends, and we always see Dita Von Teese, who I wanted to see. So she was here in LA, and so we said, hey, let's go.
So getting into the main topic of this interview, Transformers Animated, we have a few questions about that for you.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start things off. David, how many roles in Transformers Animated did you initially audition for?
72. 72.
There was a slightly less pause that time. Yeah. Slightly less pause.
Yeah. I remember the scripts came through from my agent. I was a different agency at the time when I was still commuting to Los Angeles from Vancouver. Did that for about 10 years, and it came through and Transformers, and I went, whoa! So I guess it's over. So I was I had sent an email through to Sue and said, hey, just letting you know that I'm going to be reading for Transformers. Because in my mind, I was like, man, I gotta get back on this, and because I was having such a good time on the original Beast Wars series and stuff, and because I was working in Los Angeles, and I was able to work on the series if it came down to that. So I looked at all the stuff, and Megatron, and of course that was, I figured, hey, here we go, and I did the Megatron thing, and I didn't read for Optimus Prime. I read for some other characters. I read for Grimlock, I believe. A few other characters. I think they had when I got in the studio at Cartoon Network and reading for Matt Youngberg and Derek Wyatt and Sue and other people that were there. I read about it, 6 characters, and then it was going great. We all had some laughs, and the Megatron thing, they're loving it, and Sue, and then there was a bunch of silence behind the glass, and then she comes back on the mic and says, "Hey, listen, can you grab Optimus?" And I go, "Yeah, sure, okay." And apparently they're having a tough time finding the Optimus voice, and I didn't have any idea what to do, and I just sort of did me younger, and we played around with it, and then there was some nodding of heads, and I thought, well, this is kind of weird. And I went away, and it was a couple of weeks later. I got the call, and they said, yeah, okay, there's a call back, and I figured, I'm just going to Megatron, and then they said they want to bring you back in for Optimus, and I go, really? So that's how it all started, and then sure enough, they cast me as Optimus Prime. And Grimlock and some other characters, and that's how it happened.
Nice. Was that your Sue Blue impersonation?
Scotty, okay, guys. Yeah, something like that. I adore her. She's back working again. I love her to pieces. So
that's awesome. I've never heard her speak, so I thought that was funny.
She's great.
Did you try to get Megatron, and if so, what would your version of the character have sounded like?
I was just doing the same thing because I really didn't know which direction the series was headed. I mean, I saw some diagrams, and I made a couple of takes. One that was similar to what I'd done for Beast Wars, and another different take where I sort of made him a little more. Kind of a little more evil, I suppose, but I give them 2 different takes, I recall, and I thought I kind of covered it. They wanted to change direction, so
nice.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be the only voice actor in Transformers history to go from the lead villain to the lead hero?
Fortunate. I don't know. I was blown away. It was really tough the first 4 episodes of the show because every time Sue would see Corey Burton, another person I just love dearly. Corey's such a great guy and a good friend, and he sits he's beside me. It's Prime on one side and Corey's to my left, and on my right hand side is Tom Kenny, who was Starscream, and we had a fun time. And Bill Fagerbakke, who was Bulkhead. Thank you. Bulkhead. He was sort of over the left, and Bumper and Tara was on the other side of Tom, and Jeff Bennett. It was a great room. We had a good time, and every time we'd stop, and Sue would say, "Okay, Megatron," and I go, "Oh yeah, that's right, it's not me." I always stand up every time she would say. I couldn't get it out of my head that I'm Optimus, and she said Optimus a couple times, and I kind of sat there and. Oh, right, me. I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, and it took a few episodes to get the voice right. I was having trouble because trying to make him younger, wanted him to sound a little bit younger, and I couldn't. And finally, I guess probably halfway through or 3/4 of the way into the first season, I started kind of settled in. Everyone settled into their voices. What happens in a show? If you hear the original Homer Simpson, you're going, what the hell's that? And people just kind of settle into it, and I liked where it was headed later on. So finally, yeah, it was tough to be the hero that, because the Megatron had so many fun little things he used to do and little moments and peaks and valleys and and all this stuff. I could really play around with him. Optimus, you kind of, had to be, when he made his speech, you get the eye roll from the other Autobots because, oh, here we go again. He's, doing his speech. And so you had to play it pretty straight, but, all those little nuances. So I found it difficult for the first little while.
Uh-huh. So with the ensemble cast and everybody being in the same booth, we had asked you last time we talked to you about Beast Wars. This time for animated, were there any funny outtakes, any funny stories, anything that can be revealed as far as just the cast being in the booth or playing pranks on each other or anything like that?
Oh, there are many bouts of laughing fits, courtesy of Tom Kenny and Jeff Bennett and Bumper Robinson. every time we'd have a moment, Jeff Bennett he's so damn talented. He'd mimic somebody or something, and Bumper'd start laughing, and Tom would say something, and what was it Tom said one day? We were talking about SpongeBob or something, and he said, we were just kind of waiting for the next scene to start. We had a moment. They were talking behind the glass about something, whatever. And Tom said, I found there's a toy. There's this new SpongeBob toy. I couldn't believe it. And what was the toy now? It was really wild. It was, what the heck was it? Now I'm having a mental block. Because it's SpongeBob, floss, and they had SpongeBob this, and I think it was like SpongeBob toilet paper or something weird. Some comment, and we couldn't stop laughing for half an hour. During the interview, if I remember what exactly the toy was, because it does exist, I'll let you know. But that was classic. A lot of stuff we can't say, because there was some funny stuff happening in that booth. Bumper, whenever he did his German accent with that character, there's a German accent, the thing. We'd start giggling.
Which character was that?
He was
Meltdown.
The three characters.
Oh, Blitzwing.
Yeah, Blitzwing. Yeah, he was just. Yeah, there's some funny moments. I'll think of some more. Tara would show us funny pictures on her phone while we were recording, and make us laugh. It's like a bunch of kindergarten children in there, really. Grade school kids.
Very nice.
Yes.
That's funny. I was just reminded of the Gary Chalk moments back from Beast Wars. And thought
he still does that, You don't sound like that. Why do you guys always do that? You don't sound like that. Yeah, you do, Gary. Wait a second. Hey, why are you picking on me?
Yeah, he'd fit right in there.
Yeah.
So, what was the process for coming up with the voices that you did for the animated characters? I'm expecting to hear this.
It's funny because sometimes.
Through.
Well, I get pieces of copy in, and I look at them and I go, oh man, I don't know, and I'll just kick into something. Other times they give you a breakdown of that. He's this age, and he looks like that. He speaks with an accent or without one, and he's the leader of this or the. They give you a description of who it is, and you kind of come up with it in your head and what the character may sound like. Classic example of how one comes up with a character is you get cast something they hear you, they like you, they know it's going to be a great fit. Either they know your work or they love what you did in the audition. But a lot of times when you get into the studio and it's the first day and they'd like to have all the cast. In LA, it's hard to get people together because of scheduling. It's crazy, but they really want to get people in the booth together, the entire cast, so everyone knows each other and they fine-tune the voices. So I could come in with a voice that starts in here like this, yes, and end up the character talks in a like a pseudo sort of a South African accent with it, and then they go, oh, we like that. Why don't we try that? And that becomes the character. It depends what you've got network executives in there. You've got people from the writers of the show, the animators, and so it becomes a collaborative effort. So as an actor, as a voice actor, people sometimes wonder, you have to be prepared to change it up a lot because they might want to
they sometimes will even switch roles. And so why don't you try that role? Give me down to this guy instead of, something else. So you have to really be versatile when you go in there, because you end up doing more than one character a lot of times, and they'll fool with it until they get something they like. So it really is sometimes on the fly, and sometimes I come up with it, and that's what it is. But a lot of times you got to be able to change it.
So they don't always have a set idea of exactly what they want?
No, they love what you did. And quite often, if there's a callback, you go in there and you're prepared, and they go, hey, listen, we really like what you did on this sound, and that gets you in the door. There's a callback. They go, okay, it was something we like. But can you make him a little, this, or we want to make him a little older. Can you young him up a bit, and or drop his voice, and then you have to be on the fly. You got to do it. And I love that. I love the more people when I go in to read, or there's more, or in the session, the more people in there, the more I get, my energy's up, and I just want to go and have fun. If there's like one guy in there and an engineer, it's a letdown to me. So more people there, because it brings the energy, and people are up. And
I'd love to see a war of the Megatrons between you and Welker, just to see what would happen. Because really, sometimes all you really need is one guy, especially if you had you and Frank in there. It's like you and a million other voices with just Frank Welker.
Well, it's like, I was doing Scooby-Doo with Frank. I was doing a few Scooby-Doos, and Frank's there, and he and Frank's and then in TF Prime he was there, and him and Peter were there, and I think it's the first time we'd been together, the three of us together.
Yeah.
It's all I can say. I can't tell you what was going on what episode.
Right.
The first time we've been with the Transformers, we've been in the same. That was kind of neat for me. But in Scooby-Doo, and Frank's there. He's such a great guy, and Kevin Michael Richards in the same room, and again, it's like more children, and you're sitting there waiting, and you hear crickets, and you look around and go, what the hell is that? And it's Frank. is there a cricket? You guys hear crickets? And we'll look over at Frank, and he just stops and smiles, and he's a legend. He's great. It's to be in the same room and work with him is pretty damn cool.
Switching gears a little bit, do you have a favorite episode of Transformers Animated?
Let me see. Yeah, there's a couple funny ones. When they had, they used to bring guest stars in a lot. It was kind of funny because you realize when you're in Los Angeles, it says on the breakdown of the character, and they say something like, I kind of sound, a Weird Al voice, and it sounds, and you realize you show up to the session, you go, oh, it's Weird Al, he's here, right? It's L.A. They live here, they're here, and so that kind of blows me away. That was one of those two episodes that there was a couple he was in when he was in the cast was really fun. And it's Henriksen. It was Lance Henriksen, the guy who was an alien, and
he did the voice of Lockdown. Yeah,
Lockdown, and when he's such a great guy. Those episodes when he was in, his voice is so cool. He was to my right on those episodes, and I was sitting in the chair. I sit down and relax. I stand up when I record. Some people sit down and record. I can't do that. And I was when he spoke, I was getting a massage because it was moving the walls. So man, don't stop talking. I'm getting a back massage here, man. It's great. You guys are awesome. I want to do this forever. Lance said it's so cool to work with him. And but Weird Al was special. That was pretty neat. So many more.
Yes. Okay, so if it had continued, and we all know that there's been a ton of speculation about season 4 and all that stuff, if it had continued, is there anything that you would have really liked to explore with Optimus? And did you know about the Japanese Elite Guard figure of Optimus?
No, I didn't know about the card. Derek White keeps me up on the toys. And Optimus, he becomes more battle hardened. If it was to continue, he'd be a little more battle hardened because he started off quite young and naive, and it would have been neat to see him get into a point where he was just, he became closer to maybe that Frank Welker character, or not the Frank Welker, that Peter's Peter's version, a little kind of between that and how I ended up doing him in the episode,
Right.
to kind of make a transition. But yeah, a little more battle scarred, more weary. It would have been fun.
Very cool.
Interesting. To shift things up a little bit, we can talk a bit about the conventions you've done recently.
Confessions? Did you say confessions?
No, not confessions.
Let's totally do confessions. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do confessions, but that would be a completely different podcast.
True Confessions of David Kaye. So tell us, David.
You don't want to go there.
I said conventions. Sorry, like BotCon. You've been to BotCon a few times recently.
Uh-huh. I'm just happy they had me back. I mean, I'm honored. I'm just they keep asking me, and if I'm able to, I'll go. It's fun.
Cool. Did you have a particular favorite one?
Well, I mean, I know I like them all. I mean, the folks in Toronto do a great job. Colin and those guys are always very friendly, and I've always had no trouble with anybody. Had a great time with Brian and the crew with BotCons, and before that, the very first one I did in Rochester, when Venus Terzo and I went, when they were doing Beast Wars. I mean, that was a riot. I didn't realize the fan base, and that was quite a while ago. The BotCon in Providence, Rhode Island, was a favorite because I went for some runs around the city and loved the city for its history. And it seemed that George Washington slept in many houses. I don't know what was going on, but there was a sign on many houses: George Washington lived here or slept here or something. But it's a beautiful city, and it was a great convention. I like that. And Pasadena is awesome because it's like 15 minutes from my house. So. And there's one I'm going to, of course, the big news. I'm heading over to the UK in August for the Auto Assembly. Simon and the crew over there run a great ship. And it's interesting because the first time I did that convention, I was signing autographs, or just as I was sitting down, somebody came over and said, "Hey, Mr. Kaye, would you like a pint?" And I go, "A pint of what?" Like a Guinness or like beer? Yeah, like a pint. I go, "Now, in front of these kids? Okay, I'll do what the locals do." And that kind of blew me away. But they're great over there, and I'm looking forward to seeing them all again.
What's the for you? What's the cultural difference between, like, say, BotCon and TFCon and Auto Assembly? I've been meaning to find a way to get any of the Auto Assembly guests that have been in the past on an interview, like after they've gotten done with that convention. What's the how big of a difference is as far as like BotCon's American convention, Auto Assembly is based in the UK? What's the difference? Did you notice anything at all?
Yeah, the Guinness. They serve beer.
And we're not talking about the world records, people.
They serve alcohol. No, it's to say, take away the accent, and you could be anywhere. I mean, I met a group in Amsterdam when I was over there. I flew over and met them, and they took me around Amsterdam, and it's the same. They love the series. They follow it. It's a phenomenon. They grew up with it. I grew up with famous Monsters of Filmland magazine, and I grew up with Spider-Man, and those things. And I have my things that I grew up with, and they grew up with Transformers. It's the same. It's no real difference. I think a lot of them still. It's funny because they all come up and say, Rose wanted to visit America. It's like being back in the '60s when the Beatles, visited. They still have this thing. Hey, we want to come to America and visit, and they're all kind of still have that what do you call it, romantic vision of coming to America, and I keep telling them it's not like it used to be. It's still great, but they're funny like that, some of them. But the world's a small place with social networking, so they're pretty aware of everything.
Huh, cool. Hey, at the last SpotCon, you had a chance to talk to Greg Berger. And,
I see Greg a lot. I worked with Greg recently too, and something else I can't mention.
I can't tell us what it is. Yeah. What did he say about your version of Grimlock? Was it like?
We don't say anything. Oh, we did this thing at the BotCon. It was a song we did together. Anything you can do, I can do better, and we did it as a Grimlock voice, and it was fun. I don't know if anybody recorded or anything, but or not. I think it should be out there somewhere.
Oh, they should. I haven't seen it.
You can do, me can do better. And then he'd go, yes, you can. No, you can't. And we did a thing. We may do that over at Auto Assembly if we can get a script, because I can't remember the damn words to that.
I so wish that was on YouTube somewhere.
Somebody's got to have it.
Somebody records that.
I'm sure somebody must have it. Somebody, Brian or the crew, they were filming something. There was cameras that, they filmed. So I don't know how we can get a hold of that, but that was great. That was one of the funnest moments of any BotCon I've had with me and Greg up there. I don't worry about what people, what people know or think or do or what. We each have our own version. We're hired for a different show, and the cool thing is I'm a big fan of Greg's, and I really get along well with Greg, and not too many people in the voiceover industry that don't get along. It's a real tight-knit group.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
When you go to BotCon or when you go to TFCon or anything else, like outside of, like, say you go to BotCon and you have this panel and these signings that you agree to do. Outside of that, when you were there this year, did you like go into the dealer room? Did you look at any of the toys? Did you go to any of the other panels that you were not involved in at all? Did you actually experience the convention for yourself, or did you just go to do your obligatory duties?
I do my thing. It's exhausting. People don't realize how tiring it is just to do, because you're on all the time. You're on when you're there. You're on. You're meeting fans and you're meeting friends. I have a lot of fans have become friends over the years. You're signing autographs. You're on, and it takes its toll. You're tired. I've gone to some conventions after that. I've gone to my room and fell asleep for 2 hours, and I didn't really do anything. I work out every day. I train every day, sometimes twice a day. But for whatever reason, I think mentally you get drained. You get drained. And then so I will quite often, every con I've always gone to, I've always checked out the dealer room and toys. I'll see if I can find something for my son, Spencer, or my daughter, Tiana. So, I might see something I like. There's a friend of mine from Ottawa in Canada that makes these sort of little big-headed replicas, and he does a really good job of them. I can't remember he's going to kill me. I can't remember the name, but I've
Mighty Mugs?
What is it called?
Mighty Mugs?
No, something else. I can't remember. He's on my Twitter team. I'll find it. But he does a great job of those, and it's unusual. And I thought, I got him to commission a Megatron and an Optimus for me, and they turned out really great. He'll do anything. He'll do any characters from video games, and I was quite blown away by them. A lot of times, though, when I go to a city and I haven't been to, I need to go by myself and go off and do a touristy thing, and when I went to Auckland, New Zealand, for a convention down there when we were doing the animated, the anime version of Transformers. Hasbro had me down there to sign autographs, and I literally did my duties because I didn't really know anybody. I knew no one, and I would finish, and I literally walked around that city. I walked everywhere, and tried the local cuisine. I even got a chance to see the All Blacks play. So I'll take advantage of the city and find out. I'll go and tour around a little bit. Boston, I went everywhere, walked everywhere. So that's what I do.
Yeah, I'm originally from Boston. Boston's one of the best cities in the world.
It's spectacular. We have ancestry that's apparently went through there, and I went to the Athenaeum. I snuck in there somehow. They let me in. I walked around the cemetery, Paul Revere, the whole band. It's just, I loved it. Just loved it.
Yeah, so
Very cool.
awesome.
Yeah, I don't stay in a hotel. I'm not one of those guys that stays in a hotel and just does his thing. I got to go out and see where I am.
So cool.
So are the script readings considered, part of quote unquote your duties, or is that just something that you enjoy doing?
I enjoy doing it. Well, they're gonna, they have a budget and they obviously pay you to go. So I figure that people spent hard-earned money and they're paying me to go. I should, do my duties and do what I'm supposed to do. And the script reading to me is a lot of fun. And I'm doing a let me see, what's it called? An auction over in the UK. Those always scare me. I'm not real comfortable doing that because it's tiring in itself. But they're raising money for charity, and it's like, you know what? Let's do it. We'll do it. So I'm pretty easy to get along with.
Nice. Yeah. Do you get the action figures for the characters that you voice, like Prime?
Yeah, sometimes. I never ask any questions. I end up. What happens is Derek. I'll talk to Derek, and he said, "Did you get that replica version 2 of the song?" I go, "No." Really, you didn't? I go, "No, I have no idea." And Derek's been great because he ended up giving me a couple of toys from the convention that I wouldn't have got a hold of.
Yeah.
So I find out about these toys after the fact, but I got a few Optimuses around. I got all the Megatrons. They're stored away somewhere. A few of them, I have them on display.
Nice.
But yeah, they're cool.
Yeah. Speaking of Derek, we have on our podcast we've said time and time again what an asset Derek Wyatt is to the fandom.
What an ass! What?
What a giant ass this guy is. No, I mean, he.
Hold on. We got a new comic book day in Burbank here at House of Secrets Wednesdays. Sometimes we get together and with Matt Youngberg and Marty sometimes, Eisenberg sometimes, and we'll just meet at the comic book store and pick up some new reading material and grab lunch somewhere. So we hang out too. It's just really kind of cool. Derek lives down the hill from me. He's probably about 10 minutes away from me right now.
Oh, very cool. Do people stop you in the comic shop and say, "Hey"?
No, they have no idea who I am. I saw Patton Oswalt in there one day, and I was so. Derek says, "Hey, see the guy over there?" I go, "Yeah, Patton Oswalt." Wow, that's pretty cool. But I don't go over and talk to him or anything. I feel like an idiot.
That's funny.
That is so awesome.
But it's just a sort of inside thing that Wednesdays at that comic shop in Burbank, which is where all the studios are, everybody who's in like Warner Brothers, Marvel, all those guys are in there, creators, animators, and everyone works somewhere and is buying comics. And I swear to you, a lot of those guys get their ideas, or they're looking for ideas, or they have their favorite books. And you know damn well that this out of that new comic book day on Wednesdays when the issues come out, some of these movies have come from ideas or spawned from guys going into the comic shop and picking up their latest episodes, latest issues.
So awesome. Steve, you want to switch gears for us?
What were some of the difficulties of doing Transformers Animated compared to doing other shows like Beast Wars or other Transformers properties?
Bumper Robinson's body odor. That was a problem.
So that's a new Gary joke.
No, that's not even true.
Dude, what are you talking about? I don't smell. I don't stink.
The difficulties, there were none. The difficulty was, for me, it was trying to squeeze 2 episodes in a day, because I do a lot of stuff besides animation. I'm doing trailers, I'm scratching trailers, I'm doing network television, I'm on call for a television radio affiliate. So I got all this other stuff going on. So to me, it's juggling. So when I have an episode or 2, if they try and do 2 episodes a day from 9 in the morning or in the afternoon, I have to somehow beg someone to let me record, or I have to scream back home in the studio and jump in and take care of some of the TV people who get a little antsy. especially if it's during sweeps periods. So it's not like I'm not complaining. It's just some days when they try and jam 2 episodes in, I'm trying to do a lot of things at once, and I just get at the end of the day, I'm pretty tired. But I have no complaints at all. I mean, it's playtime.
Nice.
So you walk out of the animated booth and go into the next room and you do Meet Bob.
Yeah, like it's a whole different thing. Animation is very you could be down doing stuff like, hey, you know, but then I got to come home, and if I'm doing a trailer, all of a sudden I'm doing like all I'm doing is this in a world, one man. I mean, it's a total, and to me to come down to that is it takes me 5 or 10 minutes to kind of get in that zone. And then television news is completely different. Something else is promo is completely different. It's all different. So you're kind of switching gears all day long. And it's just a hint to anybody getting into voiceover work is you need to be able to switch gears and do it as fast as you can. The only reason I just doing it forever, and it becomes second nature. It has to become second nature because no one else has time for you to screw up or wait for you. You know, you got to just do it.
Right. Huh.
Does that make sense?
So-
Am I rambling?
No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I'm right with you. This is a rather open-ended question. What made this series different than the other Transformers series that you've been on in the past?
The guest stars that would come in. It was the most fun. The cast was amazing. We had a hell of a cast in Beast Wars. This was even to me extra special because I am a fan of all these people that I work with. And then the bonus is they have people come in like Fred Willard and Weird Al Yankovic and all these people were coming in and that's a real that was a big difference. That was kind of neat.
Nice.
And they have great talent food here at Cartoon Network. Burritos.
The catering is the best.
The burritos are awesome. I've done a few episodes of the regular show, and I don't know where they get those burritos, man, but they're awesome. Best breakfast burritos ever.
Nice.
Switching gears a little bit, what were some of your influences for coming up with your Transformers animated voice characters?
Flying by the seat of my pants a lot, honestly. I'm not joking. I mean, they had me take home Grimlock, and they had me take home, watch G1 the movie and the Grimlock thing, get an idea for what they kind of wanted. What was the other one I did?
Not Lockdown, Lugnut.
Lugnut was hilarious. He was. We came up with him in the booth. And he was Megatron's right hand. It's what he said. He's Megatron's, right. He'll do anything he says, but he's a few bolts short of a full, deck. And Megatron is wise. It's just kind of make him sound big and dumb and strong. And we came up with that in the booth. A couple other ones we come up with. Pretty much on the fly, I guess. They give you a picture when you come in. Sometimes you come in and you see your name on the cast list, and there's a character there beside your name, and you go, who's this? Oh, they want you to do like a so-and-so character. Oh, great. Okay, I got to come up with something. Okay.
How did you get...
So, what does he sound like? I don't know. So you just kind of go. You kind of go with it.
How did you, really quick before we transition again, how did you... Was Cliff Jumper one of those things where, like you just said, you just walk in and you see your name next to a character? How did you get roped into doing Cliff Jumper?
Well, Derek, I mean, all these the people that know, when you're in the industry for a while, they know what you do, and I'm known as a journeyman. I do a lot of different stuff, and they just say, give us a day. He'll come up with something. So you don't want to disappoint them. So there's a lot of pressure, and it was Derek's idea, Matt's idea to say, let's get Dave Kaye. We'll just do like a sort of a. I think he was. Sort of Clint Eastwood type thing, and then they mention his name, and you just kind of, I don't know, you kind of do that thing, you kind of come down in there, and Cliff Jumper, and you just really just have to throw it out there, and if they like it, great, and they'll tell you if they don't, and to change it, and you have to change it. They're the guys that say, "Hey, let's get so and so to do this," or "Let's cast," or if they don't know, they'll cast. They'll go, "Well, we better do a casting session," and that's when the agencies will all get a casting for Transformers looking for a new character.
Yeah.
If they don't have any ideas within the cast to do it, then that's when they do another round of casting and try and find somebody to come in and do this.
I just didn't realize how many voices you actually did in the series. Like, I knew Grimlock, I knew Lugnut, and I knew Optimus.
It's Chris Pepper, and there's somebody else too. There's Warpath, or no?
Yeah. There's a
I
bunch
wanted to do something with him, and I I was going to go down the road like, I thought they meant like Warpath. I thought literally they were going to do like maybe a Native American thing, and they were all laughing and going, I thought, oh, okay, they want me to do that, and I did that in the session. They go, no, don't stay away from that. I go, oh, okay, I thought you wanted me to do that. They go, no, we were joking, we were laughing, so I had to come up with something different on the spot for him. I was thinking, my grandfather taught me well when I was a boy. I didn't know where they wanted to go, so yeah, so we didn't do that.
That would have been awesome.
I think you nailed it. We would have gotten a lot of trouble and a lot of mail.
Yeah. We don't want to get the show boycotted.
No.
Not yet. It's funny. Let's see, I was wondering what the transition from working primarily in Canada to working in LA was like. You said that you were commuting back and forth.
Yeah, I let me see the transition. I never thought I'd do it. I mean, when you're raising here's an issue. When you're raising children and they're growing up and they have friends and they have their, they have their community. They know. To me, LA is like a second home because I've been coming down here forever. It was like a second home to me. I had friends here. I have a community here. I know folks, and it's. But when I moved the family down, I forgot. The first couple of weeks were a little rough because I forgot that they're not used to this. They're out of their element. I mean, it's like ripping the umbilical cord. You know what I mean? That from you're causing a big upheaval in your family. And you move them to any different city, never mind a different country. I mean, the countries it's an easier transition if you say than going to China or something. I mean, it's something different, but
they speak the same language. But
well, yeah, it's really
just barely.
Yeah, just barely. But there are small differences, but I mean, my family history is American born, and we have. To me, it was not a problem, and I forgot that the kids are in a different school system, and then when they come down here, it's a different system. So I'm proud of them. I'm proud of all of them, and my wife, loves it. We're having a great time in LA. It's a crazy city. It's a show. I think most people like to see it drop up into the ocean. But it's a good old city, and you have to really have a good sense of humor down here. But the transition, to answer your question, was a little tougher for them. For me, it was not tough at all. But I had to kind of back up a bit and say, hey, wait a minute, I forgot. That's new for them. And so we've been here 4.5 years on the ground, and it's the best move that I've made. It's been extremely rewarding and fun. And they're also, my wife and kids are also having a ball. So yeah, everything's good.
I'm glad it worked out. Awesome.
Because let me tell you something. 99% comedian friend of mine down here. He said, you go to your wife one day and say, hey, guess we're gonna. How would you like to move to LA? 98 to 99% of those relationships stop right there. I'm not going to LA. What? No. So I'm just fortunate that I have a great, an awesome wife and great kids who will follow me along this journey. And I also have to say that we'll probably become citizens in a couple of years. We're going to be able to, and I owe this country much gratitude, because without this country, I really don't have a career, period. If you really, so I've met some wonderful people. It's been an easy transition for me personally, and I'm the first one of the family to go back across the 49th because we do have a lot of American blood and history and family down here.
Really quick, you mentioned your kids. Are you grooming them to become voice actors?
Oh God, I don't know what they're going to do. I know my daughter's going into fashion, and she's creative. Spencer loves the video. He's techie. He's a Scorpio. He's a wild card. I'm not sure, but I'd like to see him. And this is where it kind of gets scary. The USC is. He seems to like the Trojans down here, the football team, and. I was a little leery because USC it's very expensive to send your kid to USC, and I'm kind of hoping maybe he finds something. But he came to again the other day and said, "Hey, something about film school, USC film school," and I thought, "Oh boy." So I don't know if he's maybe going in that direction. I mean, I'll make it happen, and it's a great program at USC for film. But we'll see. I think he may be behind the action, like technically, computer savvy and video games. He's very smart that way. Maybe film editing. You never know. You really don't know. And my daughter's the opposite. She's very creative out there, and I can see her doing very well in her chosen field. So we'll see.
Awesome.
I just want them to be all happy. That's all. Happy and healthy.
Always a good thing.
Yeah.
If there was a battle, who would win? Transformers Animated Optimus or Beast Wars Megatron?
Okay. Animated Optimus. Oh. I'm gonna have to go with Beast Wars Megatron. Gonna have to go with the yeah. He's got too many. Where does he get those toys? I just got a lot of, and he's got the rubber duck, and I think that could really freak Optimus out.
Now, Steve, you forgot to mention which one. Is it the purple dragon or is it the grid dragon?
Oh, we're not getting into the multiple versions of Beast Wars Megatron.
Well, no, because I think a season 4 Optimus would probably beat Purple Dinosaur Megatron.
Season 4 maybe. Because he's more bad. Yeah, season 4. Early on, I think Optimus would need a little more, battle time.
Yeah.
The dinosaur, crunch his head off earlier on.
Yes.
Yes, I will crunch your head off.
If you could voice anything or be in any feature film, whether it's animation, live action, whatever.
Star Wars.
Oh, okay. That's an easy answer. David Kaye wants to be in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
That's fine. That's fine. And I'll be able to make some little announcement about that shortly.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Star Wars. So I can't. We can't. That's all I can say.
He's gonna talk about it.
Auto assembly. There may be a little more to reveal.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yes. If there was a chance a live-action Beast Wars movie were to happen, would you try to be in it?
Yeah. Sure. And whatever.
As long as Michael Bay doesn't direct it, cool.
I was interested to know. I read for a few of the roles for the film roles and that.
Which one?
I can't remember.
Or what movie per se?
The second movie. The first.
Oh, Revenge of the Fallen. Yeah.
The Destructor.
Destron.
What is it?
Devastator.
Devastator?
Yeah, it was Devastator. I think. Is that the one? That's the one. The big giant thing.
The big
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
I did this sort of down in here. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was okay. I just think I just have a funny feeling that if my name or my stuff came in, that they would just toss it. Because I don't think they were the Beast Wars cast. I think that that's not what that they grew up where he grew up with, and
Yeah.
I just get a feeling that he doesn't have a clue who any of us were or that. But it's his money, his film, and he do whatever the hell he wants. It didn't bother me, but it would have been fun, to do a little something in there.
Right. Well, I think that it was a grassroots effort to get Peter Cullen in the first movie, and it was another.
I thought it was a great
effort.
choice. That was a great choice, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to go with him, to be honest. And it was like at the last second where Peter Cullen popped out. I think it was E3 and said, "Yes, I'm going to be Optimus Prime."
Yeah.
And everybody said, "What about Frank Welker?" And lo and behold, in the second movie, Frank Welker comes back as Dr. Claw.
Yeah.
Soundwave. Knock it off. Knock it off.
And I'm pretty sure Frank Welker was in the third movie as Dr. Claw as well.
Yes.
Soundwave.
Yeah, I don't know who was in. I think I mentioned I was talking to John DiMaggio yesterday, and I think he's in the third. He's doing something in the third movie too. Something.
Oh, interesting.
Somebody said, "Hey, I heard you're in the." One of the cast members said something, and he said, "Oh, you like it?" Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's apparently you felt like you've been in a battle after you watched the movie. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, Dark of the Moon was really, really well done. It's probably the best one out of the three of them.
That's what I've heard so far. Yeah.
See it on IMAX. It's worth it. Did you miss anyone in particular from the Beast Wars crew? Because I know that there's a few members of that team that aren't doing much anymore.
I keep in touch with Gary. I haven't talked to Scotty for a while. Who else is around? I'm good friends with Ian Corlett. I see Ian as much as possible. We're very close friends. Jimmy Burns. I still, there's a few folks on my Facebook team that I still keep in touch with and that. And I mean, when I see them, if I'm up visiting or there's somebody who's down here, more often than not, we'll hang out. But yeah, Alec Willis I really miss. I don't know what Alec's doing, but he was so good. Blue Man Kuma, he's a dear friend and a gentle giant. They're all great. They're all great people. Very great. And Venus, I don't know where. I just we all love Venus, and it's
right.
But I know she's doing some on-camera stuff. But from time to time, I'll bump into them and see them.
Nice.
Very
Yeah, all
cool.
good people. I mean, when the chances that we get to speak with them, it's always fantastic.
Yeah.
We fully admit that our beast, we are the, and I believe we told you this beforehand, last time we talked to you, we are the only podcasters to do a full-on, front-to-back, beginning-to-end Beast Wars, Beast Machines review podcast.
Yeah.
The only reason why that show is incomplete is because we still have not been able to get a hold of Scotty.
What, McNeil?
Yes.
How is that possible?
We haven't been able to get him for an interview.
He's probably, I think every weekend he's at some convention or something, isn't he?
Well, we don't go to conventions that much. Like, I don't, because I can't travel that much, so...
Oh, yeah, I'm surprised.
We'll track him down eventually.
Yeah, you have to track him down.
Yeah. Before we let you go, can you remind us what you have coming up, what's going on with you? I know that there are some things you can't talk about, but just kind of like tease us with what's coming up, what you got coming up next.
Okay, let me just check here. Boy, oh boy. I know it's funny. I check on things, and some of the bios are so outdated. They're still toying with the idea. There's a movie called Hero of Color City. I think with Christina Ricci. It's still out there in the theory. I don't know if it's coming or not. They have it. It's 2013. I play a black crayon. But he's really boring. Like he's really woes me. Oh, woes me. Excellent. Another thunderstorm. He's really dull and dark and that's hence the black cloud, the black crayon. They have announced there's some more RNC, and Yeah, I know that TF Prime has been announced. I'm in there.
Can you
but
say which character?
I can't say what character hasn't been announced.
What about the season?
Well, we're recording this, whatever this.
Okay, so it's currently you're currently doing
We're currently
that.
recording. Yeah, it's recorded. Yeah.
Awesome.
G.I. Joe Renegades. I do the narration, plus I'm also. And let me just see here. I don't know where they are on the series, but I can tell you that I'm a father of one of the cast, and that's a kind of a cool thing that's coming out. Dan
Awesome.
versus a few episodes. Scooby-Doo. There's a new episode we recorded. It will be out soon. DC Universe Online stuff is out. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Regular show, I'm still out there doing a few things for them now and again, and that's always fun. Yeah, that's the stuff I can sort of mention vaguely, and this is a bunch of stuff I'm doing. For my trailers and scratching, and my voice is out there on different commercials that you may or may not hear. Norton antivirus stuff. I'm doing stuff for them. Some Viagra commercials.
Oh,
Yeah. Not that
No
there's
more
anything wrong
Enzyte?
with that, but yeah, there's a bunch of stuff out there. I can't remember what it is, but it's sort of constant motion, and a lot of the shows, again, because of social networking, I can't say a damn thing.
yeah.
But it's been very rewarding and busy and fun, and I can't the great agency and great people. So yeah, that's it.
Very cool. We would like to thank Mr. Kaye for taking the time to chat with us. We'll ask you to hold the line in this special transformation animation interview.
Yes.